They moved the ball better than we did. They played better team basketball. We didn't respect the game. We didn't respect our opponent. It was a pathetic performance. And I hope that every player is embarrassed. Not because we're supposed to win the game, quote unquote, but it's about how you play the game. And I thought that their movement, unselfishness was great. Their juice and competitiveness was better than ours. And they respected the game. They got rewarded for it. So I'm happy for them. It'll help them get through the rest of the year.
All right, well, yes, according to Elias, the Knicks are the first sub-200 team ever to defeat the defending NBA champions at least 60 games into the season. Gregg Popovich is not happy. I know somebody else who wasn't too happy. Skip Bayless, your take.
Stephen A. Smith, last night, my San Antonio Spurs, the defending NBA champs, lost to Alexei Shved, who took over in overtime as my Spurs went 1 for 9. Last night, my Spurs lost to Lou Amundsen, who had 17 rebounds. 17 rebounds! As your woeful New York Knicks, who came into the game 13 and 53, out-hustled, out-scrapped, out-hearted, out-fought my San Antonio Spurs. Pop didn't even begin to scratch the surface of how nauseating it was, at least for me. It was pathetic. It was disgraceful. It was an eyesore. It was an embarrassment. And you know what? It was predictable. It's everything I keep telling you about my San Antonio Spurs. Stephen A. Smith, they have developed a dangerously bad habit of blowing leads and losing close games. My count, and I watch every game. I do not miss a Spurs game. And unfortunately, I watched every dribble of that one last night. My count is they have now lost 12 games. They should have, could have, and should have won. And I'll give you this. Last year, they would have won 10 of those 12 games. Last night counts again, another blown game. Obviously, recently at home against a very good Cleveland team with Kyrie going off for 57 points. My Spurs were ahead by 10 with 3 minutes left at home and blew it. They were ahead by 6 with 33 seconds left at home and blew it and lost in overtime. Last night, they were ahead by 13 at the Garden against your woeful Knicks, and they slowly but surely blew it. And then they were really, really pathetic in overtime because nobody can hit a shot when it really matters. Kawhi Leonard, this was the year in which he was supposed to take the next step into stardom. Obviously, he could have been the finals MVP each of the last 2 years and was last year. Stephen A. Smith, he continues to miss crucial free throws. Last night, he missed one with 1:14 left, the first of 2. He made the second one. He missed the last-second shot that could have won the game. He missed another free throw in overtime. He basically was sleepwalking through this game, as were many of his teammates who are in the classic "are we there yet" mode. Last year, undefeated in March as they took off. This year, they've already lost twice in March. They're just waiting for the playoffs to start when they think they can flip the proverbial switch. I don't think you can. I hope I'm dead wrong about that. I don't think you can just suddenly say, oh, now it's time to play. All those games we blew in the end when we couldn't figure out how to win a game, we'll win these games now. No, you won't. I'm sorry. That was the first time. It took Pop all the way to St. Patrick's Day to finally get mad about what we've all been watching. It's a little too late for me. The floor is yours.
I think you're overreacting.
No. Yeah, I'm shocked you say that.
I think you're overreacting. I can respect where you're coming from. I understand what you're saying. Skip Bayless.
Alexei Shved.
Skip, first of all, I want to applaud you and thank you for throwing out all of those names because, to be quite honest with you, I have forgotten who was on the Knicks roster. Skip Bayless. I forgot the Knicks had a game last night. I didn't watch this game. I haven't watched the Knicks in months.
Well, you've sworn
told you.
I know.
I told you. I have to maintain. I don't want to get depressed. You know how I feel. I feel about my Knicks the way you feel about your Spurs. Skip, they are so pathetic that it has depressed me for the first half of the year. Remember, Skip Bayless, I'm on the air, and I told you this. I left All-Star Weekend because it was inside Madison Square Garden, and I couldn't bring myself to walk into the arena because that's where the Knicks play, and it would just tarnish my experience. I didn't even go. That's how disgusted I was. If you remember, you always see me All-Star Weekend, Sports Center and beyond. You didn't see me that weekend. You know why? Because I didn't want to work. I took it off. I said, why waste my time? That's how pathetic the New York Knicks are, okay, to the point where I forgot they had a game last night. Now, here's the deal, Skip. The San Antonio Spurs, for all their troubles, they're still in a playoff picture. I think this can end up working well for them because to lose to this team is so disgraceful, so pathetic that I know that Pop meant every word that he said. I believe those players will take it to heart. They came into the games, Skip, having won 7 of 8. And the one game that they did lose took your Herculean 57-point effort from Kyrie Irving for them to pull it off. And they would have won that game if Kawhi Leonard had hit his free throws. So they literally should have been winners of 8 straight coming into last night. It's not like they've been losing. The problem, Skip, is that not only did they have the pathetic Knicks on the docket, who nobody in NBA history has come into the game with a lesser winning percentage at this stage of the game than the Knicks did. Okay, but the game before that was against Minnesota. So you look at the schedule and it's like Minnesota and it's like the Knicks, and you're like, do we really have to play this game? They handled their business against Minnesota, but they fell asleep against the Knicks and got caught napping. That's what happens sometimes. That's why it's always dangerous this late in the season when you're gearing for something and you have to go against someone pathetic. Because what happens is that you have no interest whatsoever. The San Antonio Spurs, ultimately it comes down to this. They didn't want to play last night. They really didn't want to play. They literally felt like it was a waste of their time, and that's how they got caught napping. And that seems to be the only way the New York Knicks can win games this year. It just is what it is. So I get where you're coming from, and I don't blame you as a Spurs fan for being upset as you are. But to me, this is no indication of what the Spurs is. Even though they've had games that they've blown with the blown leads, and you're absolutely right, I don't believe that's what this was about. This was about them getting caught napping, not wanting to play at all. Literally, this felt like, one of those days where an hour feels like 10 hours, that every minute feels like an hour. You just don't want to be there. That's what the San Antonio Spurs were experiencing last night. This was not about basketball. This was about, trying to get rid of the ambient type state they were in, being forced to fulfill their obligation of having to play the Knicks last night.
Okay, remember, they would have won this game last year as a 16-point favorite by 30 points. That's the role they were on to finish the regular season, in which they wound up with the best record in the NBA. Now they're just drifting and drifting. Who knows where they're going to finish? But they're going to be a lower seed.
Whoa. One point that you never bring up, Skip. Stop bringing up last year. The year before that, Ray Allen's 3 and then LeBron's 37 and 15 in Game 7 with Tim Duncan missing a hook in the lane. That stuff. They lost the championship that should have been theirs. Last year, the San Antonio Spurs were more motivated than we have ever seen them in the Popovich, Tim Duncan era. Stop comparing last year. Last year was an aberration. They weren't like that years before that.
Okay. This isn't what's happening to the Patriots right now. The Spurs, after last year's championship, did not lose Revis and Browner and Shane Vereen and Will Fork. They lost nobody. 0. They're all back, and they have a chance to do something never before done in their franchise history, which is obviously win back-to-back championships. Now they're going to have to do it a different way. Maybe that's their big picture game plan. Maybe they want to fall to the bottom of the standings. Maybe they want to be the 7th or the 8th seed and see if they can do it from the bottom.
Skip, we can personalize this, bro. We had a good time in Dallas the week of the national championship game, and Super Bowl week in Arizona. We love doing what we do. We come to work every day, but there was a special buzz and sizzle to what we were doing. I'm telling you right now, we're going to continue to do our show every day. But something about May 2nd in Vegas is going to be special.
Oh,
you understand? Last year, it was something different for the San Antonio Spurs because they were on a mission. Your professionalism, your skill set, all of those things could be there. But there's something that drives you, man, and it's not always there. And last year, you can't compare anything to last year. Yes, they would have blown the Knicks out by 30 last year, but they were on a mission to annihilate anybody.
Okay.
But the mission has been completed. So now it's back to we're the best, we're skilled, this is what we bring to the table, but sometimes you get caught napping.
Okay, last quick thought. I am concerned about Kawhi Leonard because he obviously has star capability. As you well know, the Spurs opted before the year not to go ahead and give him his big deal. They're making him wait. Maybe they're making him wait because they're not sold that he is a star. I don't know. I think they are sold on him. But it's possible on certain nights against the Knicks, his heart just isn't completely in it. It's possible.
Well, here's the one thing I will tell you about Kawhi Leonard. He's cost himself some money.
Yeah.
He was looking for max dollars. He's the leading scorer on San Antonio, averaging 15.8 again. These are not spectacular max dollar money. Now, he could go to a team as moribund as the New York Knicks, and they'll have to overpay you to make sure they get quality players on their squad. But outside of that scenario, Kawhi Leonard is not going to get max dollars. He has cost himself some money. His absence of production in the regular season has actually help the San Antonio Spurs because they want to keep him, but they want to justify not giving him the money he covets, and he's giving them ammunition to do that.
Stephen A., you say something about May 2nd will be special.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Just
oh,
in the
Lord
air.
have mercy.
Okay.
The draft. They're finishing up the
draft.
draft.
That too. Yeah, that too.
The Boston Red Sox are playing the Yankees.
I don't care.
No.
I don't care.
No.
Not May 2nd.
No.
Not May 2nd. I don't care about the Yankees, Red Sox. I don't care about the Kentucky Derby.
Okay.
I don't care about anything. I don't even care about the NFL draft. I don't care about the Yankees. May 2nd.
Okay.
I got one thing on my mind. Mayweather Pacquiao. That's all I care about.
I got one thing on my mind. Knockout.
I know you're about to say that. I knew it. All right, listen, in the Western Conference, the Warriors have already clinched a playoff berth. San Antonio 7, the 8th seed, still a fight between the Thunder and the Pelicans. When we come back, we're going to talk about Greg Hardy. He visits the Cowboys, and he reportedly will sign with them or the Bucks. We're talking about Dallas. Is it a good fit when we return?